Welcome back. We start off this segment in South Africa, where the private sector activity shrank at the fastest rate in 17 months in September as output, new orders and employment declined. The Standard Bank Purchasing Managers Index compiled by Market fell to 48.5 last month from 49.8 in August, moving further below the 50 mark that separates growth in activity from contraction. The September print was the lowest since April 2016. Stagflationary stress characterized the PMI survey in September, measures of actual growth and expectations of future. Africa's most industrialized economy emerged from a recession in the second quarter, but Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba has said the economy was in danger of missing its 1.3% growth target in 2017 owing to the poor performance of some major sectors. And in Uganda, the private sector economic activity there expanded at a slower pace for a second consecutive month in September, held back by a weak construction sector. The market Stanbic Bank Uganda Purchasing Managers Index slipped to 53.8 from 54.1 in August. A reading above 50 indicates activity is expanded, while below that shows a contraction. The East African economy, which is gearing up to start producing crude oil in 2020, is projected by the central bank to expand 5 to 5.5% in the fiscal year 2017-2018, a rate the bank says is below its potential. In August, the PMI also declined, which was attributed to sagging activity in the export sector on account of political instability in important export markets. And the African Development Bank will today decide the fate of a $296 million financing package for Ivory Coast's national airline Air Côte d'Ivoire's purchase of 5 new Airbus A320s. While the Abidjan-based lender has participated in loan packages to commercial airlines in the past, some board members have raised questions about the deals and whether the loans fulfill the AFDB's development vocation. Air Côte d'Ivoire, which aspires to become West Africa's premier airline and make Abidjan a regional travel hub, ordered 3 A320 news and 2 A320s last year using a stopgap loan. It took delivery of the first aircraft in July, bringing its total fleet to 10 planes. The size and structure of the package have not been made public. According to an AFDB document, it includes a $60 million sovereign loan from the bank to the Ivorian state, which owns a 65% stake in the airline. The bank would also provide $55 million in non-sovereign loans and a $20 million partial risk guarantee. Hyatt Hotels and Resorts will open 6 new hotels in Africa by 2020, underscoring the growth of business and international travel on the continent. The company will open its first hotels in Algeria, Cameroon, Ethiopia and Senegal, and open new hotels in 2 countries where it already has a presence, Morocco and Tanzania, and it's expected to create approximately 2,100 jobs. Hyatt is looking for more opportunities to expand in East Africa, citing continued government investment in infrastructure, an expanding middle class, and a growing international recognition of the region's stability. The new hotels will double Hyatt's presence in Africa. Potential countries for further expansion could include Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Mozambique, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. There was 11% growth in sub-Saharan African tourism in the past year. The first half of 2017 saw a 14% year-on-year increase in international arrivals in East Africa. And Guinea's economy will grow 5.8% in 2018, down from an expected 6.7% in 2017 as it struggles with low commodity prices and unrest that has interrupted bauxite mining. The forecast is lower than the 7% growth target authorities had been hoping to exceed in 2018. Guinea's economy has been dogged in recent years by the Ebola epidemic and price drops for key commodities like iron ore and bauxite. And from November the 1st, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency will begin to determine its 3% levy on wet cargoes by cubic measurements. The agency, through its Executive Director Operations, Mr. Rotimi Fashoki, at a forum in Lagos said the aim is to boost the country's revenue generation. According to him, the strategy also looks to address the conversion rates of crude oil in the industry.
The issue of different conversion rates applied by various stakeholders in converting crude oil from barrel to metric tons for the processing of the 13 and 3% NIMASA levy, which hitherto had generated huge unreconciled figures that increased the agency's debt profile. To resolve this, the agency has noted the following. One, that conversion rates of crude oil from barrels to metric tons vary from crude oil grade to grade. Two, that the internationally reorganized standard parameter for freight calculation for liquid cargoes is volume. Three, that every vessel has a maximum weight it can carry. It is the weight of a vessel that determines the size of the cargo compartment and volume of cargo it can carry. Four, that the ship owner will stop loading his vessel as soon as the cargo space is filled up or the vessel has attained its maximum load limit. Five, in calculating its freight, the ship owner will apply the freight ton, which is cubic measurement, or tonnage, which is higher, whichever is higher, to avoid incurring losses. Six, given the above facts and the current crude oil price, the agency has decided to adopt vessels' cubic measurement for the calculation of our 3% levy. Anything short of this means we will continue losing money to ship owners. The agency will, from 1st November 2017, use vessels' cubic measurements for the calculation of NIMASA's 3% levy on all wet cargo.
And indigenous people under threat from companies seeking to develop their land for agriculture, mining and energy projects will be supported with money and practical help through a major global partnership backed by philanthropic and government funding. The International Land and Forest Tenure Facility is the first initiative to provide grants to advance the rights of indigenous people to help them protect their forests, land and resources. The facility won a $20 million pledge from Norway on Tuesday when it was launched at a land right conference in Stockholm. The facility has already provided grants and guidance for pilot projects in Indonesia, Mali, Peru, Cameroon, Liberia, and Panama. And finally, on the metals market, gold prices rose today after hitting a 7-week low in the previous session, buoyed as the dollar pulled back from a 1.5-month high against a basket of currencies. Spot gold had risen 0.3% to $1,275 an ounce. It touched its lowest since mid-August at $1,267 on Tuesday. U.S. gold futures for December delivery were also up 0.3% at $1,278 per ounce. Gold prices have steadied in the past 24 hours with a stalling U.S. dollar contributing to the move. Long liquidation over the last 2 weeks has put gold on a more steady footing, with the market now turning to this week's non-farm payrolls reports. And that's it on the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago.